It's another episode of Wearable Today, episode number 93, the atomic number of Neptunium. We've got a great show for you today. Of course, I'm back from the Consumer Electronics Show, so we got all the gadgets and gizmos and what's nots and who's its, and Otto has brought his slinger with him, if you know what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about all of that. We're also going to talk about Under Armour. We're going to talk about Loreal. Yeah, we're going to talk about some fashion stuff. I need that from my head. And Tip Talk and a whole bunch more on this. Like I said, it's episode number 93 of Wearable Today. And that's brought to you by our friends over at CashFly. Go over to CACHEFLY.com for more information. And of course, we're a proud member of the Maker community over at max.maker.com. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Think Magazine put in a geek. Let's put my lower third on. Boom, like this. There we go. And of course, Jeff at wearabletoday.com. And as always, my cohort, my friend in need, and his bird, who's giving you the finger right now. Birdie.
No, I'm giving you the bird, see? There's the bird.
Yeah.
Luke Wallace here. You can find me on Twitter, Luke at wearabletoday.com or biglettershirt.com as well.
Big letter shirt.
Use coupon code WEARTECH for 10%
Use code
off.
WEARTECH. You'll have a party in his shirt. Wait, what?
What? I don't know about that.
That wasn't licensed, so I should probably change it 25%. Big letter shirt. Let's have a party in his shirt. In his shirt. No, anyway, let's get into the news with our segment we call Big News, Little Arms. And a cup.
And a cup.
And a cup.
So Under Armour has unveiled its connected fitness platform along with the first three devices, the Health Box, the Speedform Gemini 2 RE shoe, and a set of connected headphones. The article that we linked to over at foxbusiness.com neglected to mention the name of. So the Health Box, includes a few devices in it, including a fitness band and a scale that you can use that also measures body mass and fat percentage. And it will connect with the rest of the platform to help change the way athletes live, not just how they work out. The devices will retail between $150 for, I believe, the shoes or maybe one of the bands, and $400 for that whole Health Box kit.
Okay. Cool. All right. Really quick, I'm just going to take a second here. I just need to do this a little bit. There we go. Just have to adjust a little level. All right, let's move on from there. Hey, Luke, do you know what the biggest organ in the body is?
Hey, I do. It is your skin.
Oh, I thought we were going to play that a little bit more. But anyway, the largest organ in the human body, and some people do think it's the heart, but it's not the heart. It is the skin. Yes, your skin is an organ. It's so important to take care of it. And especially with Birdie's skin, because Birdie's got this really harsh skin with all these feathers on it. Yeah. So anyway, so L'Oreal announced a new wearable today. Not today, but new wearable at CES that helps to detect the UV damage that hits our skin every day. And it's perfect for me because, as most of you know, I have a skin condition called vitiligo, which is lack of melanin in the skin, and I need to worry about the sun rays, the UV damage there. So this is a patch that you put on your skin. It connects to your smartphone to tell you how much UV exposure you're getting. It's able to be worn up to 5 days in the current iteration, and the device should be launching by the end of this year. I didn't see it at CES, so I can't really check it out firsthand, but we'll keep an eye on that and go from there.
Next up, what if your body became part of your next wearable tech?
What?
I know, it's crazy. The Tip Talk is a new smart band that attaches to your watch and can vibrate. But not just any old vibrations. These vibrations are more like a speaker. So when you stick your finger in your ear, that's right, you can listen to calls or voicemail completely covertly. Samsung, the creators of the device, say that this will retail for less than $100 by the end of this year.
How is this covertly? I mean, how many people do you see sticking their finger in their ear? That's crazy.
Well, you could just be like, "Oh, I'm just rubbing my ear or something."
Oh yeah, hi, how's it going? Yeah, he's down the block. Send in the cops now.
Well, instead of holding your watch up to your ear, I think is the idea. Okay. So instead of something like that, it looks a little less weird. It looks like you're listening to, I don't know, a headset or something. When actually you're listening to your own finger. It's kind of crazy that way.
Well, it's called bone conductivity, and we've seen that for a few years at CES, and I know there's a couple companies out there that deal with that. I actually have a wearable that I got a few years ago that is a set of headphones that's bone conductive.
Well, Google Glass did that.
Yeah,
for their
Google
headsets,
Glass
right?
did have the bone conductivity.
Actually go in your ear. So.
Yes.
You've seen this before, but this is kind of interesting that your finger is the kind of the last bit of conductivity.
So it's interesting, definitely, but and different, that's for sure.
Yeah, a little bit different.
All right, and finally, in the news today, the Oculus Rift has come out of development and is ready for consumers for about $600. Now, of course, Oculus Rift made the announcement that it's going to be available on March 15th, I think it was. They announced it last week. So a lot of people thought that the price was pretty high, but that's no different than an iPad. That's no different than Google Glass was 2 to 3 times that price. So, but the creator has basically taken a defensive public stance, citing that this experience is the main reason for the inflated price, and it didn't want to cut any corners for the destruction of VR before it even starts, because it's got a lot of pushing behind it. In fact, the Oculus booth, it was basically an hour and a half wait just to get into the Oculus booth. Now, as media, I could have gone in and gone past the line and gotten in and seen what was going on, but I didn't want to do that. Let the other people have their chance. I've already witnessed the Oculus. It's hard to really explain. It's hard to show on camera. So you'd have to just see it for yourself, basically. So Oculus is expecting the technology costs to drop over time, but mostly because of the fact you're going to have Oculus, and then you're going to have all these knockoffs of which are already out there that are going to be using the Oculus technology. So expect it'll definitely come to a $100 price point eventually. But right now, if it's early technology, you want early technology, you're going to have to pay for it, and that's $600. So have you used Oculus at all, Luke?
I've used some of the dev kits. I think they have the DK1. I don't know if I ever used the DK2.
Yeah. I
think I did. And then I've used some of the Samsung Gear VR stuff and seen that. It's pretty impressive. So I think that, yeah, it's pretty neat, but it's totally understandable why it's so expensive right now. It's just the hardware is just really expensive to get really high resolution screens and all that stuff in there.
Exactly. How about Bertie? Bertie, have you wore Oculus yet? No? Okay.
No, she's like, I don't think so.
No, they don't have Bird Oculus yet, so.
Yeah, it has to fit differently. It has to go on like both sides of the head.
Yeah.
It can't really just, horizon on the side of her head.
Okay. Well, that's the important thing. So, all right. Well, that does it for this edition of our segment we call Big News, Little Arms, and a 3D dinosaur.
Yeah, there you go.
And a virtual dinosaur. That was the funny thing is CES, and I'm just gonna say this really quick. I'm gonna say something else, and then we're gonna get back into this. So, I'm gonna hold on to this. We were gonna do a FundMe really quick. It was actually a Kickstarter for an Apple Watch band that would actually be an extra battery. But as of 13 hours ago, after I saw it and put it into the show notes, they canceled the Kickstarter. Not sure why. Maybe they had some technical issues. Maybe they had some legal issues. I know we talked about other bands that did power inside of the band already. So we can only speculate what happened, but I want you to be aware of it. And let me just call up the page really quick, just to kind of tell you the name, what they called it. It's called the Prime Strap. They raised it. They had a $30,000 goal. They raised $9,700 before they canceled it. But now it's canceled. It might be coming back. So if that's the case, I'll look for it on maybe they even moved to Indiegogo or something like that. Maybe that was the possibility. They didn't like the way it was funding there, so they decided to move it. But the whole point is that it got canceled. We'll watch for it. If it comes back, we'll let you know and go from there. So. All right, let's get into the part you guys probably all want to know, and that's Consumer Electronics Show 2016, and the segment we're calling CES Wear Tech. We saw it, CES 2016.
We saw.
We saw.
We sat.
We sat.
2016.
We sat. We sat. So, as you all know, I go out to the Consumer Electronics Show every single year, and I take a look at what's going on in the tech world. In the last couple of years, my business plan has kind of changed a little bit, and I've got sponsors and stuff like that, so I had to be at sponsor booths for a day or two. And so getting a chance to go out and see the whole floor is pretty much impossible. The main CES at the Las Vegas Convention Center is about 33 football lengths worth of stuff. And we're not talking from ends goal post to goal post. We're talking like corner to corner to corner to corner. So every square inch of a football field times 33. And then you add in the Venetian and Sands, and there's two levels to that, an upper level and the lower level. The lower level is called Eureka Park, which is where all the startups are, well, the new tech is. And then the upstairs is a lot of the health tech, the wear tech, and stuff like that. And I spent some time up there, not as much time as I wanted to, but I did walk around and did get a few interviews. I'm very excited about what I'm going to talk about. And of course, the full videos on some of this stuff will actually be over on geekazine.com and youtube.com/geekazine. So with that, if you're ready, Luke.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Birdie ready?
Yeah, Birdie's ready.
Okay.
Birdie's just kind of hanging out.
So let's get into the first CES Wear Tech here. Here's the first one right here, and oh wait, no. Oh, it's kind of frozen. What?
Computer can't handle it.
It can't handle your dancing. So, there's the spin again. All right, let's get in the first video here. The first video we have here is the one that everybody's been very excited about seeing. This is the Fitbit Blaze, and with the new FitStar tracking stuff. And I got to see this in extent. Got a full walkthrough on how the watch works. And the best part is Fitbit has now taken their devices into the wearable notification area. So not only will you wear this while you're running and while you're exercising, but you can wear that for everyday use. It will get texts, it will get email messages, and some other things. There are some other apps to it as we go, and that is the Fitbit Blaze. And you saw that and you noticed that on, and you talked about that a little bit before the show. So what are your thoughts on the Fitbit Blaze?
I think it's really cool that it's that they're expanding, that they're trying to offer options for people who really like the Fitbit brand. And there are tons of people out there who love the Fitbit brand, but who want some more of those notifications, and they want something with a bigger screen and able to see text messages and do all that stuff. It's nice that they're offering that instead of just saying, well, we're just going to stick to our one little niche. Like try to give people what they're interested in, and then things like being able to integrate workout routines, like 7-minute workout, into the actual device, so that it's training you as well as just measuring what you're doing. That kind of stuff is just really neat for them to see. And I'm sure they've had versions of this in other things. They've had apps that could do some of this, and but it's just neat to see them doing it, and they're doing it at very competitive price points. So it's really giving people more options, and it'll help push the entire industry into, raising the bar.
Exactly. And I can't wait to see how the Blaze comes out. I talked to him an extent, and hopefully I'll be getting myself a Fitbit Blaze here in the upcoming weeks. But it's not out. It's not out yet, and it's got a decent price point for it. But I can't remember what that was. So,
I think it was around $200.
Around $200. Like yeah. Well, it really depends. I mean, there's so many different levels of Fitbit that you can get. And one thing which we didn't talk about, of course, we didn't talk about our sponsors and affiliate codes and stuff like that. And I'll do that. Let's do that right now, because you can always get yourself a wearable over at wearabletoday.com/deals. So first of all, social networks, Wearable Today, This Week in Glass for YouTube, but Twitter and Facebook are both Wearable Today. We'll move on from there. The bandwidth is brought to you by our friends over at CacheFly. For the RSS feed, go over to CACHEFLY.com. They'll give you 1 terabyte to play with for 14 days, and put a couple shows on, see how fast their CDNs are, and compare it, and check out the prices. I think you'll be very, very satisfied on how that works. Moving on, like I said, deals at WearTech at wearabletoday.com/deals, and that's things like we have the Garmin VivoFit fitness band at a reasonable price, the Jawbone LG watch, there's the Moto 360 again, the Moto 360, the Miro Gesture, Muse, which is another bone conductive wearable. You can find that all over at wearabletoday.com/deals. And sometimes these are basically, they might be returns. They might have, maybe the band might have been broken. They had to take it back into in a Motorola or wherever, Jawbone or whatever, to fix it. It gets fixed, and then it's figured to refurbish. Or they got them as Christmas gifts and they didn't work with their devices, so they sent them back, or didn't want to wear a wearable, sent them back. So you get some great deals off of there. And then finally, you can tip us over at, where is it? PayPal.me/Jeff Powers. And then, of course, Luke, you have
BigLetterShirt.com. Use code WearTech for 10% off.
All right. Now we've done that. Sorry about that. I forgot. That was my fault. I love you guys. Okay. I'm going to say the mantra that Jennifer wants me to say, and that's basically, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. So now we move on. A couple weeks ago, we talked about this company. They had an Indiegogo. They funded, and they were at CES. It's a company called Blocks, and basically it is the WearTech with the band pieces, and those band pieces have different functions to it. Like one link of the watch band could be a GPS tracker. One could be an extra battery. One could be a Wi-Fi signal or something like that. What you're looking at here, a little bit thing. These are the actual basic chips to the Blocks. So when they're basically putting it together, they use that little chip, and then that little board, they put the chip in, and then they configure it to what they need to. So that was pretty cool. I got to talk to them, and of course I'll have that on video. Blocks, could you see something like a Moto 360 getting Blocks or anything like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's great that we're getting to that point where, it's easy to customize. People obviously can't build their own smartwatches from component parts, but having these plug and play pieces that you can put together to make the exact kind of smartwatch that you want. Do you want round face, square face? Do you want GPS? Maybe you just want a bunch of batteries in there. Maybe you want some sort of vibrating motor so you can stick your finger in your ear and listen to your calls that way. I think it's really neat that they're trying to give people that choice without having to make, 10 different models of a watch. They're like, no, we just have basically one model, but then it's customizable to get exactly what you want. So something like a Moto 360 with that would be pretty cool.
Hello, Chief. Oh, wait. No, that's not the wearable that we're talking about, right?
That'd be in a, no, it's not in your shoe. It's in your, It's in your wristband. It's in the band on your watch.
Chief, missed it by that much. All right, let's move on here. Next one we have is what's called H2O Pal. And this is very interesting. Basically, what it is a hydration system, and it's part wearable, and it's mostly drinkable, if anything. So what you'll see in a second here is the actual bottle of water, which has a device on it that has Bluetooth. This is all in the Bluetooth connected area of Eureka Park, and what that does is it then, when you fill it with water, when you start drinking, it'll actually send how much you drank out of the bottle into the and tell your phone, and so it'll actually keep track of how hydrated you are. There we go. There's the disc for the device, and then the cap where it said H2O pal. So he has a full bottle of water right there. He's taking a drink from. Tasty. And I was completely parched at that point, so he's just drinking water like no tomorrow. So, but anyway, so that basically is what that is, and a really cool wearable drink device. They all come in different shapes and sizes, which was pretty cool.
Very cool.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah, I like that, and I like that it's simpler than a lot of those cups that are trying to like detect what it is you're drinking and how many calories and all that stuff. This is just like, people just need to hydrate more, and it's a great way to measure it. Exactly.
Speaking of which, I didn't bring my glass of water in with me. Dang it, I'm dehydrated again. Moving on from there, I saw a company called Chronos, and this is the Chronos Z-Round, or something like that. This is a Swiss watch manufacturer. They've been out for a couple of years now. And they have several watches. They make not only the hardware, but they also make the operating system inside. So this is the Z Watch, or the Chronos software inside of the Z Round watch, which it as you can see, looks pretty straightforward on there. They also have an actual Swiss timepiece watch, which it connects Bluetooth as well. So. That was the new one that came out from Chronos, and pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, looks good.
All right, next ones are pictures, so we'll just go through them really quick. We're gonna start with this one. This is called Ember. This is the cup that refills, and or not refills, but when you've put liquid in there, it'll not only it'll heat it up and cool it down fast. It doesn't have a refrigerant in there, but apparently it'll cool it down to room temperature at least. But there's a little temperature gauge on the mug, so you know how hot your drink is, and if it's too hot, you can kind of let it sit and vent out a little bit, cool down. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up is Lumo. And they had this woman running on a treadmill, and basically what it is a wearable that attaches to your sport bra or your shirt. It's magnetic, and it tells you basically about posture. So if your posture is bad, then Lumo says, "Hey, sit up." Just like I tell you every single time when we have a show that you have to sit up.
Yes.
All right, you're sitting up.
Sit straight.
Okay, there we go. Let's move on from there. Now that I've scolded him again. So this next one, we're not going to talk about too much, but basically what this is called Ohmibod. And this is for your Kegel exercises. Straightforward. Okay, we'll move on from there. This next one is called 3D Rudder. I saw this, they have this thing called Showstoppers, which is an evening event at CES. And it highlights, basically gives the press a chance to go in and learn about this stuff before anybody else does, and be able to write their articles and stuff like that. So there were Showstoppers held a competition where they had a whole bunch of companies pitch for a free spot at Showstoppers, and this was one of them, called 3D Rudder. Really cool. It's for VR gaming, and basically what it is a wearable you put on the floor, and you put your feet on this. And the idea is that when you're in a VR environment, instead of standing up and walking around the room, you actually use this as a joystick, going forward, going backward, so on and so forth. So it's got a convex. It's like a is that right? Ball convex, yeah. Not
Yeah.
concave. Yeah, convex.
Convex is if it sticks out. Concave is if it goes in.
Yeah. So this is convex. So it'll tilt forward and back, like a ball, like one of those half balls that you'd see at a fitness place or something like that. So, but this is for 3D. I suppose this could also be for gaming, without 3D virtualization, right?
Yeah, it's actually one of the biggest problems that I think we're going to see in VR is how do you move around in an intuitive way that doesn't require the same kind of controller that people are used to using, where people are very used to like one stick for movement and one stick for looking around. Well, in VR, you just look around by looking around. And so now you have to think about, well, what do you use for movement? And you can use the same kind of controls, but that's not really where the space gets interesting. It's more interesting when you've got, a different type of controller or just using your hands in the space. So I think it's one of those, like, it's a really interesting solution to a problem that will certainly exist. It'll be interesting to see if this one is the one that really takes off. It definitely has the potential. Yeah. It's not too big. I like the idea that it looks like it's relatively small. So it's not like those big standing units where you have to like run in place and you need, a huge space for it. Like, this is something that you could just sit in front of you on the floor while you're seated and actually be able to turn around or, walk forward. Yeah. And maybe it'd feel more intuitive because you're actually using your feet and kind of leaning into it.
I don't do too much gaming, but the one thing I do like about PC gaming over Xbox gaming is the fact that I have technically two hands involved. I can use my mouse to move around, and then I have the keys on the keyboard to move around. It gives me, I don't know, I feel like I'm a little bit more in control than with an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller. So having that extra foot action to move around as a drummer, I have that ability, that polyphony of my arms, so I can do that. I can understand that, but I just can't understand two thumbs. It's tougher for me.
And I think a lot of people do, and it is a really neat way to use another part of your body. So that frees up it frees up your hands to take on other controls and do things that maybe we'll wish, in VR will be more useful. And it's like, well, you really need more hands to make it more immersive, or not more hands, but you need, full use of your hands.
Exactly.
And so like by using your feet for that, that's one way to go about it. So I really think that this one's, could be big. It's one of those ones that it may take a little bit of time, or it may take a little bit more refinement, but I could see it being very useful.
But it also could be for other things, like regular gaming. Controlling a drone, controlling a sphere, because they had the Spheros there with the BB-8 and the new functionality, which was a glove that you wore to move BB-8 around. So more Bluetooth devices enter into that, such as the 3D rudder. I think that'll definitely add into there and go from there. So let's move on. Where was I? There I am. Next one, simple. This is actually this is an iPhone camera lens, 80 times the distance. And I tried to take video of it, and it's just basically a big blur as I was trying to move things around, trying to focus it in. But it was pretty cool. Next one, Lego was there, showing off. They just started their Lego Bluetooth initiative. And so what did they call it? Let's see if I can see that. Hold on a second. I know I had it down here, but anyway, it's basically so they're making a whole bunch of Lego systems that you can buy and build and work on. So it expands into the Lego universe to new things, new ideas, and adding in Bluetooth so you can do stuff remotely. We're going to see some really cool stuff, I think. All right, moving on from there. This is called iBlazer, and what this is, as you can see, it's you got a phone there, and then of course the iBlazer. It is a light for your smartphone. So if the light on your smartphone isn't as bright as you want it to do to catch that selfie or get to some video or something like that, then you can add this little attachment. I think it's got a magnet to it, so it can stick to a magnetic part, so you can put it on your clothing. You can put it on the phone. You can put it, well, basically wherever you need a light, and it can do what's called 56K and 34K, which is a lighting thing if you want it more yellow or more white. It's pretty decent and pretty bright. So as you can see right there, really cool stuff. And I also saw that at Showstoppers. So they also had some wearables, but I was more impressed with the iBlazer. Next up, we have the Aliba. We're trying to figure out how to say this. I say Aliba, and you say
Oliba.
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 Aliba.
Oliba.
Let's call the whole thing off. So, this is to find your stuffed toy. Is the Aliba. It was an Indiegogo project that got funded. So basically, it's a toy tracker, and it's also got ability to tell stories, which for the kids would be great, and a way to soothe your child to sleep until the batteries die out. So it's called the Aliba, and yeah, it looks like a little owl on a bunny, but it's pretty cool. And yeah, so next up for all you Apple watchers, this is from Griffin, and it is the Travel Power Bank, and is basically a device that will charge your Apple Watch. So you plug it in. There's a micro USB on the side. You plug it in to charge it. And then you put it on your key ring, and then when your Apple Watch is low on power, all you have to do is put it on that on the spot there, and it'll charge back up. So they did not. It's not for anything else like your Moto 360 or anything like that. But I talked to them for a couple seconds, and I suggested maybe you should do something for other watches, and they said, yeah, we'll think about it. So. You're not too far off, or for you, that is.
Yeah, I think that it's tough when there's so many different standards that they're all following. So it'd be nice if they had one that was maybe compatible with 2 or 3 of the other, watches, other wireless charging standards. So.
Yeah. We should have one watch standard, charging standard.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah,
I wish.
So. All right, a couple more here, and then we'll get going here. This last picture is was called the Wearable Translator. That was the name of it. This is a little device that slips around your neck. It's a little jewelry, and it comes. There's 6 languages involved in that, and those 6 languages, I don't know which ones they are, but the idea is if you walk up to somebody and you don't know what language they're speaking, all you have to do is let the translator do the work for you. So that was pretty cool. It's not out yet, and we couldn't get too much on it. I think it was Bluetooth connecting to a device that you can put in a headphone and hear from there. So, but definitely, I'm not sure how that's going to work, especially when phones can do that as well. But we'll see what happens on there. Have you ever used the translation options on your Android or anything like that?
I have, but mostly to go from English to some other language is more of a test, not really used in a critical situation. So
okay. Well, so those are the main ones. There were two other things I'm going to show you guys, and these are actual things that I got from CES. First of all, do you know what Huawei is?
Huawei. The manufacturer, yes.
Yes. Huawei is a Chinese company that's coming in the United States. They started in the 4G, 3G market. They got cell phones. In fact, last year there was a news story about Huawei leaving the United States because there were some accusations thrown their way. So they technically left the United States, but now they're coming back to the United States. And I got a couple things here. First of all, I wasn't going to show this, but I have it right here. This is the company that they're putting in for the U.S. is called Honor, and I went to a party and they gave us an Honor smartphone, which is basically a dual SIM smartphone. So you have a 4G SIM, and then a 2G SIM into the phone. And of course, I've got to find some carriers to try this out and test this. So I haven't used it too much. But what I did use was this wearable right here. You saw a few pictures if you were following me on social networks. And this is the Honor smartwatch. And as you can see, I can zoom in a little bit here. It's a really nice watch. It's not a full smartwatch, so it doesn't have, it will tell me if a phone call comes in, and it will vibrate at certain times, but basically it just tells you the time. Let's see, it tells you the time. Oh, I went the wrong way. Oops. Let's do that. No, I did that again. So it tells you the time. It's tough to control. I did that again. Dang it. So, there we go. Tells you the steps, tells you your calories burned, and sleep cycles and stuff like that. So, really cool watch. Award on CES. It logged me about, was it 25,000 steps? Mostly I did like 15,000 steps a day. The last day I actually did 25,000 steps, which was great because, you know, I've lost some weight since 6 months ago, and I was able to walk the show floor no problem. It was very comfortable for me. I wasn't out of breath. I wasn't like, my legs weren't like killing me. So it was a great time walking the show floor, and I was glad to get something like that.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah. Huawei's been making Android phones for quite a few years. And so, they're starting to move up in the market. They even have another high-end Android Wear watch that they either announced recently or came out with recently.
Yeah. And well, they're going to come out with a lot more in the United States, probably under the Honor brand. So watch for that if you're looking for a smartphone. Finally, this isn't really new tech, but Sony, basically when you go to the Sony booth and you find out what's new in Sony, they give you one of these, and this is the Sony Walkman. It's basically a pair of earbuds that USB connect to charge and to upload files. You can upload, it's got only like 4 gigabytes on, so it's like 4,000 songs. But, you know, if you're a runner or something like that, this is perfect for putting in and running. Actually, I used this on the plane and saved myself my battery on my smartphone, especially for certain planes that didn't have USB chargers on them. So it was a great thing to have. I actually have one from last year. This is the newer model, and I think it's got more memory on it, but I'm not sure. I still have to look it all up. But those were basically the wearables that I got at CES this year. So pretty cool stuff. And I know I went a little bit long on that, but lots of cool stuff that I saw, and some of the stuff I didn't put in there. I did do some walkthroughs on my Facebook channel. You can see them there.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Looks like there was a lot of interesting tech.
Yeah, very much so. So, all right. Well, we've also got some other stuff. I know you've got 3 things that you saw that you wanted to talk about from CES. So let's get those going.
Yeah, these are some that I found looking through the CES news, and so I just wanted to bring them up. One of them, everybody seemed to be talking about this Twitter headphone thing, and so I looked it up to see what they were talking about, and it's called MusicEMU, MUZIK, and it really looks like Twitter is mostly just invested in the company. They talk about it. Unfortunately, it seems like the things I found didn't give enough technical details for my interest, but it's basically wireless headphones that you can control your music directly from the headphones. Okay, not a big deal. But then there's also this idea of sharing, and that's where Twitter factors in, of sharing out what you're listening to directly from the headphones, I guess, instead of opening your phone, getting out the app, selecting share and going through all that, some sort of kind of one click or just a couple of clicks to actually share what you're listening to. Interesting idea. Obviously, if Twitter's investing in it, they must have made a pretty good pitch to them. It's probably, more than, hey, you can share what you're listening to and that's it. And they're like, here's $100 million.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not really, it's probably a little bit more to it than that, but interesting to think that, you know, Twitter is saying, you know what, that's a big part of it. The article that I linked to here on recode.net in the show notes talks about how Twitter says that music is one of the most discussed topics on Twitter itself. Like most people, or like a lot of people, are talking about music on there, and so they're trying to find ways to integrate even more into that, really lean into what, you know, their users are already doing. So I thought it was pretty neat.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely. I think it's, you know, they found a need, and they're pushing it out to their customers that way. And music is, if you want to be in a business, music business can be pretty profitable if you're doing the right thing. If you're just a musician, no, it's not going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Take that from me as a musician, simply put. So, all right.
Next up, I saw there were a lot of fitness trackers. You talked about the Blaze. I saw another one that looked interesting to me, and that was the Withings Go. You know, Withings is a very popular kind of another fitness brand in the vein of say Fitbit, and they're doing a lot of stuff with home automation as well. But they've got this Withings Go fitness tracker. What I thought was really neat about this is it's got this little e-ink display, and it only costs $70. So it's a pretty cheap fitness tracker. Now I know that there are cheaper ones than that, but it's really hard to find one with a screen that looks, you know, pretty good and can show you enough information on it for that kind of price. So I thought that was pretty neat, and it was really small too. I always like that. So I just thought it was neat. It's good that there's somebody else in that market, and it looks like pretty nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen Withings a few times. They were at CES the years before, and South by Southwest. I have a friend that actually promotes Withings, PR wise. So and I thought I got a wearable from South by Southwest from them, but I can't remember. Maybe I can't remember. Anyway, so a really cool company. Definitely one to watch for if you're looking at different types of wearables. Had a small little glitch there, so we had to fix it. So now we're back here. So let's talk about the last one. Go ahead, Luke.
So for the last one, I picked something a little more unusual that I saw that I hadn't seen too many people talking about, or hadn't seen before very many times. Kind of a new idea. It's called Belty, and it's a high-end lifestyle and wellness belt. It hasn't launched yet, so there aren't like reviews or anything, but I don't know if you saw this at CES on one of those football fields somewhere, but it looks kind of interesting. So basically, instead of having a little fitness tracker that you wear on your belt, the entire belt is the fitness tracker. And so it can do things like vibrate to motivate you. And then it tracks your steps, which is great, but it can also help coach you on how to take, you know, more steps, you know, by walking faster or climbing the stairs in a more dynamic way. And it says it'll even invite you to drink more water, stand up straight, and explore new habits. So it has some coaching elements built in. I'm guessing more to the software than the hardware. It does retail for about $400. So it's going to be an expensive, high-end belt and fitness tracker, but kind of different and definitely unique. Something that I don't know if I'm going to get something like this right away, but it definitely seems interesting to me.
Yeah, definitely. So I think I know where the glitch was. Apparently, every time I go to the web page, everything kind of freezes up. So I think that's what happened there. So we might have some images, some weird images, and during the video, I'm gonna have to go back and look at this, see how this works. But anyway, yes, it looks like a great product. I'm interested to see. Yeah, $400 is pretty expensive for a belt, but I'm interested to see how that's all going to play out, and go from there. So
yeah, there's definitely more room in a belt for some more sensors, or maybe a bigger battery or something. It'll just be interesting what what it ends up being when it finally launches. I understand they don't want to reveal everything about it months before it comes out, and because competitors could come along, and
exactly.
So I understand them being kind of veiled, but yeah, we'll have to try to keep an eye out for Belty.
Yeah, definitely. And if you got, if you've got a belt out there, a Belty belt out there, feel free to let us know what you think about it, and go from there. So, all right. I think that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was all the CES wearables that I found.
There was a lot more.
Yeah.
I saw a lot. Of course, I have to cover other things as well. I got to see the Keurig Cold, which is the new Keurig machine, which makes cold drinks, soda and stuff like that. It's competing with the SodaStream and stuff like that. Let's see what else. It's a really cool streaming box, which for a video editor guy like me is going to be awesome. It's going to be a game changer when it comes out, and all you people that Twitch and stuff like that, it's going to be awesome for you. What else did we see? Like I said, I spent some time, and this isn't, even though they were my sponsor at CES, and they're not getting paid. They're not paying me for this pitch. It's called Orgatron. And I have their sit stand desks, and they came out with some two new sit stand desks. One's called the Lift 35 and the Lift 24, and then the Hub 27 and the Hub 24, which are wall mounted desks. I'll have the videos out there. You'll be able to see them in the weeks to come. And let's see. Oh yeah, also got to go to Monster, check out some of the Monster products. Went to the Monster show, saw the tribute to Michael Jackson, which featured the Jacksons, and Joe Perry and Rick Ross, among others, emceed by Magic Johnson, of all people. So that was a fun time, and there was just a lot more at CES that I can't remember because it was a long week.
Yeah,
and lots of cool stuff. And you'll see that as we go on the interwebs. Lots of videos still to come from many different sites and publishers. So let's keep it out. And whether it's drones or VR, wearable tech or something else, it's all going to be out there. So you can check that all out and go from there. So, and that's basically all we got right now. So did you guys out there have some wearable tech that you saw interesting that you want to let us know about? Feel free to contact us, of course, geekazine@gmail.com, and Luke Luca, Jeff at wearabletoday.com, and Luke at wearabletoday.com, and Birdie at wearabletoday.com. So, Luke, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you otherwise?
Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at Luke Luca, or you can find me on Google Plus at +Luke Wallace, or Luke at Wearable Today, or always at biglettershirt.com if you want to get your group together and spell out some stuff with Big Letter Shirt. Use coupon code WearTech for 10% off. There you go. 10% off at WearTech. Can't go wrong there. So, and of course, you can find me over at geekazine.com. Think Magazine, put in a geek, and go from there. Remember, go to facebook.com/wearable today, plus.google.com/plus. This week in Google Glass, I can't change it. They won't let me change it. Maybe someday I'll change it, and they'll be Wearable Today. And we'll go from there. All right, Luke, thank you very much for being on the show, and Happy New Year to you, by the way. Thank you. Happy New Year yourself. I hope you have a great 2016. And yeah, hope it goes well, and we see a lot of really cool wear tech in the coming year. Yeah, definitely. Some show notes really quick. I believe we'll have a show next week. Might be flying out, but it might not be on Monday. So stay tuned on that. If not, we will have a show in 2 weeks, definitely. But we'll keep you informed on the Twitters and on the Google Pluses and everything like that. So thanks a lot for watching. Thank you very much to Luke for being on the show. Thanks to everybody that helped sponsor the show, watch the show, and let us know that you're watching the show, and come on if you want to be a guest, and we'll have a good time. Simple as that. So Jeffrey Powers here, Luke Wallace there. Thanks a lot for watching. This has been another episode of... Oh, you were waving. Do that again.
It's another episode of Wearable Today. You guys take care and geek out.